परिव्राजकाचार्य तरसदस्मान् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। सावेद भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the Asmal. All glories to the Asmal. All glories to the Asmal. Thank you very much. Hare
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namah Pankaja.
Pankaja. Nabhaya. Namah Pankajanaಭaya.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Namah Pankajanabhaya.
Namah Pankajanaಭaya.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namaste Pankajankraye.
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Namah Pankajanabhaya.
Pankajanabhaya.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namaste Pankajankraye.
Namaste Pankajangraye.
Namah Pankajanabhaya.
Namah Pankajanabhaya. Namah Pankajamaline. Namah Pankajanetraya. Namaste Pankajangraye. 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 Good. All right, begin.
Namah Pankajanabhaya.
Namah Pankajanabhaya.
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajanmaline. Namah Pankajanetraya. Namaste Pankajangraye. Namah Pankajanabhaya. Namah Pankajamaline. Namah Pankajanetraya. Namaste Pankajangre, Nama Pankajanabhaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre, Nama Pankajanabhaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye, Nama Pankajanabhaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. That's all. No, word meaning?
Namaha.
Namaha.
All respectful obeisances.
All respectful obeisances.
Pankajanabhaya.
Pankajanabhaya.
Unto the Lord, who has a specific depression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen.
Unto the Lord who has a specific expression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen.
Pankajamaline.
Pankajamaline.
One who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers.
One who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers.
Pankajanetraya.
Pankajanetraya.
One whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower.
One whose glance is as cooling as the lotus flower.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Respectful obeisances unto you.
Respectful obeisances unto you.
Pankaja Angraye.
Pankajangraye.
Unto you,
Unto you.
the soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers,
The soles whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers,
and who are therefore said to possess lotus feet.
and who are therefore said to possess lotus feet.
Translation: My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who is always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
Lord's feet, there are flags, lotus flower, chariot. These are the symbolic representation. God is person, but his personality is distinct from our personality. So these specific marks are there on his lotus feet. And Pankajanabhaya, another meaning, Pankajanabhaya means originally a lotus stem came out from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Brahma was born in that lotus flower, the origin of creation. So, Krishna's all parts of the body has a reference to the Pankaja. Pankaja means lotus flower. Panka means mud. And jaw means generate. Pankaja, the lotus flower, is so important, still it is generated from mud. So, Krishna likes Pankaja very much, lotus flower. See, if we see lotus flower, we can immediately remember Krishna. Just like if you love your child, if you see any garment and small shoes or any playthings, immediately you remember your child. This is my child's shoes, this is my child's playing things, this is my garment. See, it is the question of love. If you actually love God, Krishna, then you can remember Him at any time, always. Always. There is no difficulty. Here, Kunti Devi describes Pankaja with reference to lotus flower. And Krishna describes himself in the Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham Apsukantiya. I am the taste of the liquid. So Krishna can be remembered by tasting water. Even those who are drinking, if he thinks that this taste of drinking is Krishna, he will one day come out a great saintly person. Such a nice thing, Krishna consciousness. If you cultivate Krishna consciousness, if you follow the description given by the Shastras, so I can request even the drunkards that you can become Krishna conscious. The drunkard, what to speak of others? Because Krishna says, Rasoham apsukantiya. I am the taste of the liquid. Generally liquid water is taken. So, liquor is also liquid. Liquor is bad because it creates intoxication. Otherwise it is made from sugar, molasses. Molasses with sulfuric acid fermented, so far as you know, we are in the chemical line. Molasses fermented with sulfuric acid and then distilled. That is called spirit or liquor. The thing is, nothing is bad. But because if a thing creates bad effect, then it is bad. Then it is bad. So I shall request even the drunkards. In your country there are many drunkards. There is no scarcity. So, if you will kindly remember when drinking wine, that this nice taste of wine is Krishna. Just begin with it. He'll come out one day, a saintly person, Krishna conscious. It's so nice, practical. So, Krishna is available any circumstance. If we want to catch him, that's all. Tisam satatujuktanang bhajatang priti purvakam. If one is actually very serious to search out Krishna, Krishna is everywhere. Annantarasthang paramanuchayantarasthang govindam adipurusam tamaham bhajami. He is within this universe. Not only he is within your heart, he is within the atom even. So it is not difficult to find him out, but you must know the process, how to find him out. And this process is very simple. And the process we are distributing by the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to everyone, without any charge. The process is chant Hare Krishna. As soon as you chant Hare Krishna, immediately you understand Krishna. As soon as you see the lotus flower, if you hear this verse, this Sanskrit verse is meant for understanding ourselves. It is not for simply selling our books. Every one of you, we are repeating this verse again and again so that you are expected to chant these mantras. Not that the book is kept. I am very learned scholar. What kind of learned scholar? If I find the book, then I can speak. That is not scholarship. You must chant. Therefore we are teaching in our Dallas children simply to learn Sanskrit. We have nothing to do anything else. They are not going to be technologists or servant of everyone. No. We want some generation who can preach Krishna consciousness. So if they learn simply English and Sanskrit, they will be able to read this book, and that is sufficient. We don't want anything. All informations are there throughout the whole world, whatever knowledge is there. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is there. There is literature, there is poetry, there is philosophy, there is religion, there is love of Godhead, there is astronomy. Everything is there. Srimad Bhagavatam, Amalam Purana, Vidya Bhagavatavadhi. If one simply reads this Srimad Bhagavatam, his education is the topmost. Vidya Bhagavatavadhi. There is something topmost, ultimate. So for education, Vidya, this is Srimad Bhagavatam. If one studies Srimad Bhagavatam, he is well versed in every subject matter. So, we want to create a new generation in your country so that in future there will be fluent speaker in Srimad Bhagavatam and preach all over the country, and your country will be saved. This is our program. We have come here not to exploit your country, but to give you something substantial. This is Krishna consciousness movement. So, read Srimad Bhagavatam, pronounce the verses very nicely, therefore we are repeating. You hear the records and try to repeat. Simply by chanting the mantra, you will be purified. Simply by chanting, even if you do not understand a single word of it. Simply if you chant, this vibration has got such power. Sinnatang sakata Krishna punna savana kirtana. If you simply chant and vibrate these verses, these slokas, it is punna savana kirtana. There is no question of understanding. Punna savana kirtana. Punna means pious, and savana means hearing, and kirtana means chant. One is chanting this verse, and one who is hearing this verse, he is becoming pious automatically. Pious. To become pious, one has to endeavor so much, do this, do that. But if you simply hear these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, therefore, as a rigid principle in every temple, there should be class for hearing and chanting. Without hearing and chanting to become leader, it is impossible. You can become leader in the material world, but not in the spiritual. Savan kirtan kare mali haiya sai bij kare aropan savan kirtan jale karaye secha. Bhaktilata bij, it is a seed of developing your original consciousness. Just like in this seed there is potency. In a small seed, a mustard-like. But if you sow it, in due course of times, it comes out a big banyan tree. There's so much potency in that seed. Where is that scientist? Just prepare a seed in which there is a big gigantic banyan tree. Where is your science? That is not possible. The Krishna says, Bijoham sarvabhutanam. I am that seed. So anyone can appreciate. Suppose the banyan seed, you have seen the fig fruit, and there are hundreds and thousands of seeds. And each seed there is a banyan tree. Each seed. If you simply study a fig of banyan tree, you can study the whole cosmic manifestation. If you simply think about this is a small seed, insignificant, and there are millions of seeds like that, millions of fruits there, and each seed containing the potency of fructifying into big banyan tree. So who has made it? How much his brain is sharp that he has made it. It is done by brain. It does not come out automatically. This is rascaldom. What even where is coming rascaldom? No. There is brain. Janmadasya jataha. The Vedanta Sutra says that everything is coming from him, coming from his brain. Big brain. Krishna has got big brain. We haven't got such brain. Still, we rascals, we claim that I am as good as Krishna. I am God. What nonsense, you are God. You cannot create anything. So this Krishna consciousness movement is so nice. Here, Kunti Devi, a great devotee, is giving us opportunity to become Krishna conscious. Simply concentrating your mind on lotus flower. That's all. A lotus flower. As soon as you see a lotus flower, you will immediately think of Namo Pankaja Nabhaya. Krishna's navel is just like lotus flower. From the navel of Krishna there was a stem of lotus flower, and from that lotus flower Brahma came out, and Brahma created this universe. This universe means so many planets, so many seas, mountains and cities, motor cars, everything. Within that lotus flower. The beginning is Namo Pankaja Nabhaya. And Namo Pankaja Malini. So such wonderful lotus flower which contains the seedling of the whole universe. That is not only one. Pankaja Maline. Just like here is a garland, there are so many flowers. So Krishna is not so poor that simply producing one lotus flower is finished. No. There is a garland of lotus flower. Big garland. Or as many lotus flowers as you want. This is God. Jasyaika nishasita kalamathavalamba jivanti loma vilaja jagadannanath. Unlimited. Everything is unlimited. Krishna's creation, we are very much concerned with one planet, this. But Krishna's creation is unlimited number of planets. As you see unlimited number of hairs on your head, you cannot count. Can you count how many hairs are there? This is Krishna's creation. You cannot count. So what to speak of this hair? Anything you take. You take one tree, unlimited number of foliages. You cannot count. Similarly, unlimited number of planets, unlimited number of universes. Everything unlimited, therefore is unlimited. Namo Pankaja Nabhaya. Pankaja Malini. Namo Pankaja Netraya. Krishna's eyes are compared with the petals of lotus flower. Alula Chandrakala Sadbanamal Bangsi. So, if you simply think only one verse, as it is explained here, and the Pankaja, lotus, in defiance with Krishna's body, you can meditate the whole life. how Krishna is beautiful, how Krishna is wise, how Krishna is creation. This is meditation. Thinking of Krishna. Dhyanavastita gatena manasa pasyantijam yogina. Yogi means he is always thinking of Krishna. Matpara. That is yogi. These rascals are not yogi. Thinking something impersonal and being harassed. Klesha odhikatarastesha abbhaktya saktachetas. They're simply laboring. Odhikatara. More and more. They cannot get anything substantial. They perhaps are meditation. Come on, give me cigarette. Come on. My throat is now dried up. Give me cigarette. That is not meditation. Meditation means this is Namo Pankaja Netraya. So if we think of Krishna always, Satatang, Chintayantang Ma, always thinking of me, Jatantas Chaddirabrata, and endeavoring to advance in Krishna consciousness with bhav, then we have to remain purified, because Krishna is purified. Parabrahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. You cannot approach Krishna impurified. But if you think of Krishna always in this way, meditate upon Krishna, then you will be purified. Purna Savana Kirtana. That meditation can be possible by hearing and chanting. Then thinking will automatically come. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Smaranam means remember. If you chant and hear, then remembrance will automatically come. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam. Then you will be engaged in worshipping his lotus feet. Archanam, then you will be engaged in Archan, the temple worship. Bandhanam, offering prayers. Dasam, you will engage in yourself as servant. Sakhyam, you will become friend of Krishna. Atmanivedanam, and surrender everything to Krishna. This is the process. So each and every verse you should chant very perfectly, nicely, meditate upon it. That is the process of progress, advancement in spiritual life. We should get all these verses by heart and chant and offer prayer to the Lord. Bandhanam. Bandhanam. These are meant for such purpose. Namo Pankajanaavaya, Namo Pankajamalini, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrai. Everything is Krishna's with reference to Pankaja. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. So we've had an opportunity, devotees, to hear Srila Prabhupada preaching on this particular text, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 22, where Maharani Kunti is extolling, praising Krishna with this particular verse, which is very, very, very nice, referring to the lotus flower, Pankaja. So all the lines of Pankaja in there. Hare Krishna. Anyone that has any takeaways or questions to ask or realizations they want to share based on this verse or something else they want to talk about, that's all right. You can unmute yourself now. This is the time to share from our minds and our hearts and have Krishna Katha. So anyone who wants to can unmute now and share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance. The soul goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah,
When Prabhupada died, when Prabhupada started the class, I mean, it's somewhere, and as it was going on, um, it was really amazing how Srila Prabhupada was describing how spirit is created from molasses and something, some chemical, some of the sulfuric acid, I
Sulfuric
think.
acid.
And
Sulfuric
when I
acid,
heard,
yeah.
yeah, when I heard that, I said, "Wow, Srila Prabhupada, you're a genius," because it is amazing. I mean, we know, but it's so nice to hear Srila Prabhupada has answers to everything, everything. It's so amazing. And just hearing this, it's giving me more and more of a realization how Srila Prabhupada's disciples can get attracted to Prabhupada like that with no issue. Like so nice. And I remember Srila Prabhupada in one of I read somewhere, many years ago, where it said that, the ISKCON movement has everything that we need. It's an all-rounded movement. It addresses, psychological issue, emotional issue, spiritual issue, material issue. It has every answer to our life's problems. So I was just really appreciating how Srila Prabhupada, so simply and lightly, explained about this whole liquor thing. And I was like, I forgot that the Prabhupada worked in as a, he in a pharmacy, but still, it was just very, awe and reverence for me. It was really like I was in awe and reverence. So just wanted to share that, Haribol.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada's background is quite vast. And of course, he's telling us about Bhagavatam is what has the different things that we need to know about life. It's all in there. In fact, there's one section that the title in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the chapter, it says Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. That's why Srila Prabhupada was pushing, and he said in his in this lecture that he wanted to create a generation that would know this Shastra very well and be able to not just share it, but live it also. It is not enough to just know Shastra. It's required that once you get to know, you live based on it. Mm-hmm. So that's Vigyan. It's even very, very, very important. That's what sets us aside from those who are non-devotees. Anybody can learn something, but if they don't apply it, then it's no different from somebody who does not know, because the person that does not know won't apply it either, because they can't apply it. They cannot. And the person who knows but doesn't apply it will not apply it, but it's still at the same, it's not applying. So it's very important that, yes, Prabhupada is talking about this, but the application is also extremely important. And he lived his life that way, as we all know. Hare Krishna. Any other? Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much, walking the talk, like what you said, I was appreciating Srila Prabhupada where he said the importance of hearing Bhagavatam. It's, we have to learn to hear and read and chant and understand. We have to learn to hear and read and chant. So I was just appreciating how Srila Prabhupada is saying that we have everything. And like you said, it's all there. We have to walk the talk. If we do not walk the talk, like you mentioned, it's like someone who doesn't know the knowledge and is not walking. Okay, they are, excused because they don't know the knowledge. But if we know the knowledge and we are not walking it, then we are none different from the person who does not know and is not walking. We are not different. So the knowledge is to be applied, is not to be just spoken. And I think that's that's one of my takeaway too from Srila Prabhupada's lecture is, the knowledge is to be applied first, not to be just spoken like a parrot and we don't follow it. I always remember Balabhadra Prabhu's point, example is better than precept. He always says that example is better than precept. And sometimes that, we tend to forget that and we tend to not be able to catch it. And then we get ourselves in trouble. But yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your to comment. Anyone else would like to comment? Please unmute yourself and share with all of us. Hare Krishna. Let me see. All right, in the meantime, I'll share some takeaways that I got from this. So this is also one text from Kunti Devi appreciating Krishna. Kunti Devi was the aunt of Krishna, according to the way the pastime of Krishna unfolded the way he wanted to. But Kunti Devi was well aware that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At all times, she was aware of that. She was very much aware of that. And so her prayers, before they left, Krishna was going to go back to Dwarka, but before that, in Hastinapur, this prayers by Queen Kunti was just said in appreciation of who Krishna was. So much is there, and it teaches us, and we are going to hear quite a few in the coming weeks from Kunti Devi in this particular chapter, chapter 8. And Srila Prabhupada's lectures will make it even better. So what I have is that the Lord's feet have flags, lotus flower, and chariot, and the flowers, what Srila Prabhupada focused on only because this particular text, Pankaja means lotus flower, and Krishna loves lotus flower. As a matter of fact, in the spiritual world, there is 1,000 petals lotus flower, big one, and the throne for Radha and Krishna is on that. This is in Golok Vrindavan. That's where they sit. That is if they're not doing other activities and they're receiving. There are many pastimes where they were on that lotus flower throne. And kind of, I want to push not bring into another too many pastimes now because we're looking at the time too. If it's possible, we'll talk about some pastimes involving that. But the lotus flower is very prominent in the spiritual world. So that's why Kunti Devi was relating things about Krishna based on the lotus flower. And he knows that Krishna loves lotus flower. But then Srila Prabhupada says that if we love God, we can also remember him at any time, even by drinking water. Remember that Krishna is the taste. He says that in Bhagavad Gita, I'm the taste of water. And since liquor is also here on there, and it also has a taste, everything, the taste of all liquid is Krishna. So that even drunkards can become Krishna conscious if they remember that the taste of the wine that they're drinking is actually Krishna. Then you think of Krishna, you become Krishna conscious. Even though that was kind of an interesting way Srila Prabhupada put it, and it caused some laughter among the devotees. If he said that liquor in general is bad, but it creates intoxication, needless to say. But it's Krishna's everywhere. So it's not difficult to find Krishna. It says, but you have to know the process though. And the process is given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. The chanting leads to understanding Krishna. So also studying Srimad Bhagavatam makes one well-versed in everything. And so then he talked about the school in Dallas, and the aim that he wanted was to create a new generation of devotees, young devotees, so that in the future there will be fluent speakers of Bhagavatam. Needless to say, so much will also be learned by them, as long as they practice it, preach and practice. So, also another point that Prabhupada made is that so much endeavor is required to be pious, but you can achieve that endeavor easily through Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, reading it. But pious person is a pious person that pious person is just piety is not knowledge. You have to live it. Therefore, if we achieve it by reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and discussing it, then to be pious, we have to live based on what Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is telling us to do. So it boils down to not just Gyan, which is knowledge, but Vigyan, the wisdom and the application. of the knowledge. Bhakti Lal Beach, they talked about the seed for developing our Krishna consciousness. And then he compared it to a banyan tree. Banyan is a very big tree. And he has seed, thousands and thousands of seeds in banyan tree. And each seed, once you plant it, can produce a big banyan tree from the one seed. So then Srila Prabhupada challenged, where are the scientists that can they do something like this? So Krishna, no more, Kunti was giving us a chance to remember Krishna through the lotus flower. So those were some of the points that I was able to put down. If anyone else wants to share some realizations from it, please unmute yourself and share. Hare Krishna.
I like the point how Shri Prabhupada was saying to see Krishna everything, yeah, that example of the drunkard, an interesting point. But then again, there are verses in Bhagavad Gita, in fragrance I am, Vedas I am, so Krishna is reminding us, Shri Prabhupada is reminding what Krishna is reminding us, that he is where, he is in the air, he's in the fragrance, he's in the flower, he's in the water, he's everywhere. It's just our consciousness that is not able to recognize or remember or realize that, whoa, Krishna, you're in this, you're in that, and I think it's that's a question that I think I would like to ask, is how can we be conscious? Prabhupada says, and I was just reading a quote yesterday by Jayapataka Goswami, we have to first be conscious before being Krishna conscious. So which means consciousness comes first before Krishna consciousness. So how can we be conscious? I think that's the key word, because I think that's why we sometimes find challenges in our spiritual life, in our devotional practices, in our, whatever struggles we're going through in relationships, is because we're not conscious. So how can we become more conscious?
Many, many ways this has been explained to us. This time, this particular verse was talking about, among other things, pankaja and also the taste in liquid. But if we remember, this whole universe, we don't see the spiritual world now. We don't have the kind of eyes to see the spiritual world. But here in the material world, all of the entire material world makeup is from atoms. The Paramatma is in every single atom. Just that thought alone, the Krishna is all pervading, he's everywhere and in every single atom. Then everything around us is all Krishna. Then his feature is Paramatma. He's also in our hearts. And so all the time, to connect, we have to keep chanting the holy name. All day, keep chanting the holy name. Not the beadback chanting only, but we need to chant the holy name and hear about the holy name. Bhajans, kirtans, just constantly have the holy name on there. We also have to live based on the fact, throw that in there, as we are a community, you always have to be community conscious. How to help each other, and how to excite each other in Krishna consciousness. The suggestions may come in different ways, but they all should be part of Krishna consciousness. You also have to be very careful. This part is not in the lecture, but I'll bring it up only because it is actually useful for all of us. Maya is always watching. It's like that. Krishna is light, Maya is darkness. And as soon as the light is removed, there's darkness. And so all of the time, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, and it happens to us all the time, that we need to be aware of. Maya is always looking for ways to see, to test us, to see whether we really want to be with Krishna. Maya does not want anyone disturbing Krishna, that doesn't want to be with Krishna, that doesn't want to do what Krishna says to do. What Krishna says to do is described in Bhagavad Gita by himself and described in Srimad Bhagavatam again by himself and his pure devotees. There's advice given in Srimad Bhagavatam by Krishna's incarnations, some of them kings, some of them ascetics, some of them all over the place. Some of them talking to their mother, like Kapila Dev, that's still Krishna. And then Jat Bharat, there's so many advanced and pure devotees talking about Krishna. So there's so much to learn from Krishna, about Krishna and from Krishna. He says the Vedas is about him and it's to know him. And he's actually the generator of the Vedas. So if we learn, especially through Srimad Bhagavatam, which is what we're doing now, then we'll see what is what. So Kunti Devi is giving us a chance to remember, and through Pankada, the lotus flower, the seed for the whole universe. This is from a spiritual level now, not material level. So much is there, and Srila Prabhupada even mentions, this is some of the other takeaways that I had. The one tree has unlimited foliage. And we can just meditate on Krishna's beautiful body, and meditation on Krishna like that will purify us. How can we have the meditation? It's from hearing and chanting. Therefore, he says towards the end that we should chant every verse perfectly, nicely, and meditate on that verse. Meditate means, how can I use it to improve my life? And that, the answer to that means progress in spiritual life. So all of these, he says, even memorize it. Get to know it by heart. But knowing it by heart is not enough. We have to live it. It's very, very, very wonderful and impressive on others when we can quote and explain the meaning. Sanskrit has its effects, but that's just for another time. The language itself. But this is Krishna consciousness. And of course, you don't have to know Sanskrit to be Krishna conscious. You have to understand that this is all about devotion and service to the Lord. That's what makes us Krishna conscious. But Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru for everyone. So whatever he says to do, if we do it, then we get blessings. Then our life it works better. But especially, we have to be careful because of our parads. That will easily weaken us and railroad everything. Railroad means destroy everything that we work for. And Maya will suggest things in our parad. So as we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam, we would know how to behave like a devotee. Otherwise, we would be behaving like non-devotees and think that that is correct, when in fact, we are committing one offense after another. One after another. And by the time you get to know that something is wrong, you've sunk so deep down that it becomes difficult to rescue, to be rescued. This has happened in Prabhupada disciples to the point where they quit. And that means they weren't going back to Godhead because they quit Krishna consciousness. And it's like that. It can happen everywhere, in every temple, including ours. So we have to be careful. Not that it can't happen. It is happening. It's always happening. People just don't realize it. So we have to just learn from this and behave the devotee way, not the kami way, because that will make us offenders left and right. So hopefully we will learn from all of this. Any last comments? If not, then thank you very much.
I just want to say that Srila Prabhupada is great. He's just great.
Yeah.
He gives amazing classes. Of course, he's the ambassador, but he makes Krishna consciousness so simple.
Easily understandable.
Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So simple. It's like hearing from the grandfather. You know what I'm saying? You know, the grandfather is sitting next to you and playing and is saying it's so simple, and you're like, oh yeah, I get it. My God, it's so easy. It's just that we make it complicated because of our rascal minds, but Shripad make it so simple, and it's so nice to hear. That's what I want to say. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, this is an appreciation of Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakapatarubhishta kripasunibe eva chaptitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a nice, wonderful rest of your week in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Lord Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai.